This is our weekly update with conservation community, live from Bangkok with the PATT Foundation founder, Andy Steel. How are you doing, Andy?
Morning, Stefan. Well, it's 6 a.m. in the morning, so
Yeah.
I'm sure you might view the sunrise has just gone. We just missed it, but I can hear the birds and I could hear the bats when I got up at 6:30 as well. So
Fantastic.
it's
Fantastic.
early morning in Bangkok.
Yes, and that's going to be the evening here in Northern America, and probably late in the no, early, very, very early in the morning. No, in the middle of the night for our British friends.
That's right.
But today we are going to talk about all United Kingdom, right? because today is a special day. It's not a day or an update like one of the others that all the audience and our supporters already witnessed. Today we are going to talk about an initiative you took on your shoulder. It's all about what is called, or as known as, JOGLE 2018. It's not the first edition, but for the conservation community to raise awareness and funds for sponsorships, right, and donations. There's going to be the first ever done, for the PATT Foundation for the conservation community initiative.
Oh, that's right. It's a bit of a feat, to be perfectly honest. But I thought we'd put our best foot forward to raise money for charity, and what better way to do it than tackle something that is difficult to do? Let's be honest.
Yes, and you're practicing every day almost, right? To get ready for that.
As much as I can. I mean, it's Sunday morning. I'm up at 6 o'clock. So I'm going to get about 4 or 5 hours cycling in today. Should hopefully get about 80, 90 miles done today.
Woo-hoo. So how many weeks do you have to get that physical preparation and mental preparation to perform the John O'Groats to Land's End in the United Kingdoms?
Well, we're doing the trip in July, so I've got 16 weeks, and the guys that are doing it, 16 weeks to start preparing now. And I think the difficult part is that the mental and physical part is that we're doing 100 miles, 160 kilometers every day for 10 days.
Yeah, so I'm showing that to the audience on the Google map. So you're going to be starting on the top of England. Of course, you have some islands there, but you're starting at John Groats. So I have a question for the first day. That goes from John Groats to Invergordon. Are you going to take the land side or the coast side?
I think we'll take the land side, to be perfectly honest.
Side. Well, is that going to be kind of spooky?
No, it'll be fine. Don't worry. I think the biggest challenge for us is the physical and mental preparation. As I said, to do it 10 days straight, the body needs to be toughened to those elements. And the first few days of the ride in Scotland, they've got quite a few hills in. So, unfortunately for me, Bangkok's a bit flat. So I've got to find some hills. I'll be going to Khao Yai National Park in the next couple of weeks to try and get some hill training done there. And I'll be arriving in the UK a couple of weeks before we do the trip. So I'll get a few chances to go out and get some hill work done. Okay,
great. So because that's quite a long ride, right? You're really going from the top north up to the really southwest, right? Because you're going to be ending like around
Land's End. That's right. We're starting at the uppermost part of Great Britain in Scotland, a place called John O'Groats, and then traveling all the way down the coast for various stops overnight, and finishing in Land's End, which is the southwest mostly part of the UK.
No, that's not. I didn't find the appropriate one. I tried to type Land's End, but that's not the right place.
I'm going back to a place I used to live. I used to live in Penzance, which is 10 miles away from from Land's End. I used to live in a place called Marazion. So,
Penzance. So Penzance is there.
what
And
we've done, we've planned the route because a number of the guys that are joining me on the route, as well as my brother, are ex-military colleagues, ex-Navy guys. So we're going to be stopping at Prestwick on the way down. That's Ayr in Scotland. And then, as there's there's a Royal Naval Air Base there. And also there's Royal Naval Air Station Culdrose in Cornwall. So we know quite a lot of people. So it'll be a good chance for us to catch up with a few old sea mates and have a few beers along the way, and have a chat about the old times and how old we are now and how crazy we are to do something like this.
I saw that in the curriculum. There's an option to take the ferry in Liverpool. Are you going to do that?
There's a few areas where we've got the route planned out. A couple of people are giving us advice on different ways to go to make it more scenic, which will be nice, because I think one of the things that I appreciate is that some of the views in Scotland are just amazing. So when we're out on the trip, what the aim is to make sure that we've got a lot of live footage and video footage of the places we're going and the people we're going to be seeing on the way and the partners we will have.
Yeah, and that's I'm doing the transition now. This is the opportunity for sponsors to be featured in that event, because that's a charity sports event. This is also going to be a great adventure, and only in terms of view footages and adventure, it's the first ever. No one saw the things this way, such as being inside the head or the body of a cyclist, going through that adventures, being with a kind of webcam crows, things like that. Or I don't know if you're going to bring the DJI drone. I don't know if you're going to do a few views, aerial views with that. But that's going to be quite amazing, and that's the opportunity for several types of sponsorships, right? Because that's the point today, to explain to the community what we're doing, so they can donate, of course, everyone, but also for local businesses. If they want to be featured during all that fantastic route across England, first, that's an opportunity to make England known worldwide through a charity event, a sports one. That's going to be funny and entertaining, but also there is a local business dimension. Because we are going through the lands, right? That would be the opportunity to be featured, where they can sponsor the jerseys that you're going to wear, of course, but also if they want to sponsor what I call the digital part, that's going to be on YouTube, on Facebook Lives, if they want to have some advertisement and publicity for their own local business. And I would mean, like, that could be museum, national parks, bed and breakfast, things like that. Any local attraction, if they are willing, to have a charity in mind and give some donation for sponsorship, we will be happy to feature them in that long ride. Is that going to be over 1,000 miles?
I think depending on the exact route, it's around 1,000 miles.
Yeah, it's
right.
over. Well, Google Maps says over 91 hours of bicycling.
I think
something. They calculate the average speed of which one. I don't know, so I don't know if you're gonna keep that pace. But it's over. It's around 100 hours of cycling through 10 days, right?
That's right. So
that's going to be harsh on the body.
It certainly will, and that's part of the issue for us today. We have time on a weekend and a little bit of time in the morning to cycle, but you've got to get back on the bike every day to toughen the body to get used to doing it every day. And aches and pains. We're not getting any younger, Stefan. So the knee joints, the hip joints, everything else is going to ache. So we're going to need ample fuel and ample rest as well. I think a good night's.
Our brains, we are still in our 20s, right?
Yeah,
in our heads.
That's right. I think there's an old saying there, Stefan, that the mind writing checks the body can't cash. So
yeah, okay. Anyway, I do believe it's like any big physical challenge and sport challenge. if there is a supportive audience, if there is some fans, supporting that, then the mind goes beyond the body, beyond the
Totally.
pain, beyond the fact that, oh my God, 20 miles to go again.
That's the whole objective of doing this. And obviously, it's going to be a bit painful. But the main element really is to get support for conservation community. As you mentioned earlier, we start with the simple basics. We're going to have eBay auctions to advertise the logo space on the shirt. We can make numerous jerseys for sponsors. That's not a problem, to be worn every day. And as you mentioned, the technical aspect there, Stefan, that's beyond my scope, to be perfectly honest. But the reach that we've got through our network and through the affiliated networks can reach up to 12 million people. So those small businesses on the way that we'll feature, there's hundreds of them as we cycle past, and the other big brands and sponsors. There's a huge opportunity to get featured on social networks and out on the World Wide Web, which is something, as I say, I'm old school, Stefan.
Sure. And I want to be clear for the supporters and the audience. I won't be on the bike, but I will be supporting digitally, and from the social media standpoint, all the operation from the John O'Groats to Land's End with you. Of course, I'm committed to do some digital miles on blogging, that on bb.com. So bb.com is an affinity network, a social media platform with a blogging tool where you are gathering with like-minded people around topics and interests. And then people are following you or reading what you're blogging, depending of the interest. And as far as I know, there is a 12.5 million users with 43% monthly active users. And technically, when I blog something on the major three groups of interest, right? They are both bilingual, Spanish, English, and many other languages, but I mainly blog in Spanish and English. I know that the reach that I have is 2.4 million people. So we draw an objective for this operation is to have like 1 million impressions for the 10 days coverage. That would be, a great objective to reach. Of course, that takes many people, but actually, I think it's something doable when we leverage the networks and the people that we know on social media, both Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook as well, and that famous PV blog. Okay, so what are we going to do now? We're going to do a presentation that you're going to lead. Okay, so I'm going to leave the stage to you so you can explain to the audience what's JOGLE 2018 is all about. Are you ready?
Okay. I think you've covered quite a lot of it, Stefan, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, just fire away. Let's flick through the slides.
Okay, let's go.
So we start at John O'Groats down to Land's End. I think, as you mentioned, it's 1,000 miles. So the intention is to cover 100 miles a day. That's 160 kilometers. The first part of the trip, as you can see from the infographic, is quite hilly in Scotland. So there's going to be a bit of a challenge getting up those hills. But usual story, Stefan, what goes up must come down. So when we get up the hills, that's the hard part. Then the easy bit is cycling down. So 1,000 miles in 10 days, 10 stops. I think we're coming through, as you said, into Gordon. We go into Prestwick. We come down through Gretna Green into Blackpool and then down to Minehead. I think we've got Stroud on the way, and at Penzance, and then into Land's End. So it's a pretty long trip. But for people who've never been to the UK, opportunities with us where we'll be live. We'll be featuring all the different areas that we're going through, and I think, as I mentioned earlier, there's some amazing scenery. So I'm hoping that we can showcase some of the beauty of Great Britain, certainly going into Scotland.
All right. So I think you're not doing that alone, right? You have a blue, white, and red team. I was like, hey, that's the French flag.
It's English, Scottish, and Welsh. As I mentioned, there's quite a few people that are going to join. Certainly, myself and my brother intending to do the full length, and an old Navy friend of mine, Kenneth Roberts, who's a pilot. Kenneth is going to come with his son. His son will act as our support driver. And then we've got a few people who can't make the full 10 days, but they will join us on the route and do a couple of days with us. So Mark Corcoran, again, ex-Navy, Michael Shaw, Artie, they're going to jump in for a couple of days from Blackpool. And also an old friend of mine from Bangkok, Marty Driscoll, who will be joining us, and Brian Davies. Marty is a businessman in Cardiff, and Brian, ex-PDI in the Navy, physical trainer. Mark Corcoran and Artie Shaw are all ex-Navy. In fact, Artie's still serving. So we've got I'd say a motley crew of people with different levels of cycling activity. Mark, as you can see, has got an amazing bike there to travel the journey on. I think it'll be amazing if he can do it on that. But everyone's cyclists have different levels. Marty competes in triathlons. Everybody else is social cyclists, so we go out and ride, but nothing in the magnitude of what we're seeing for this trip, 100 miles a day for 10 days. So a bit of a challenge for us all, even though we're still active, and I would say between us we're still relatively fit. It's still going to be a challenge.
Right. So about the event, about the business and marketing dimension about that. So that's going to be covered on social media with Facebook Live, right?
Facebook Live, YouTube Live, everything else we can get live, Stefan, I
think. Everything that flies, even bicycles.
Yeah, as we know, with the advent of social media and different networks nowadays, we've got the ability to reach out and get the message out to people. So we're hoping to utilize as many networks as possible, and that will allow us to get the message, the marketing message out there for everybody else.
Yeah, and I think you're gonna ride by the Loch Ness, right, at some point.
Apparently, we're hoping to see the Loch Ness monster stuff out. So who knows?
Yeah, so we never know. That would be a scoop then.
If we capture the Loch Ness monster on camera, then that's going to do some media.
Monster, it's a cute name. It's called Nessie, right?
I wouldn't like to swim.
And that would make a statement once for all. Okay, I exist. I'm here, and I'm supporting the PATT Foundation because I'm an endangered species. You never know. Right. So we will be using for sponsors. We will be using account-based marketing servers, which is in fact an open marketing cloud enabling companies to connect all their digital assets and channel to a seamless customer experience, because it's all about relating, the ideal customer for a sponsor. So if they are, sponsoring the event, and all, maybe not all the days, but some days where they are concerned because it's when you are going through the route, we will be using that to gather, some interaction with the audience. And if they want to spend their vacation over there locally, they could do that, and that's a great opportunity to get exposed for those local businesses. We will also do some automation, landing pages, and ads for sponsorship. And every day we will make a complete report, with a blog post on bb.com. I will do that daily of all over the JOGLE to 2018. And we will try our best to do an average of 3 live streaming a day, right? And that means before, because it's all about what's going to happen during the day. And then if we can have in the middle of a post, if you're doing some post, so I don't know if you're going to ride straight 100 miles, And after, when it's all about whether it's ending or it's the after hours, right? Once you're showered, you're rehydrated, you're eating some pastas to get some reinforcement in the body with nutrients. And and that's going to be fun, because at least it's a kind of 30 rendezvous over a period of 10 days, right? Basically. Right. Plus, if you get the chance to go on bb.com, because you're invited and all the links will be provided, you will have the all crusty details of what happened during the day that couldn't have been featured during the lives. Because sometimes you're running out of batteries with the cameras or the drone or whatever, and then there was a fantastic event, but maybe you got the phone, you took a picture, and then we're gonna post that afterwards, right? So nobody is gonna miss something during that 10 days. That's gonna be very rich of events and emotion. Mm-hmm. Right.
That's right. A lot of live footage, but I think also, as you said, we'll have a lot of footage where we record during the day that we'll be uploading on the evenings.
Yeah, and I would like to reassure the audience, it's not going to be as boring as could be the Tour de France, like you got an helicopter view and you see tiny ants on bicycles riding and trying to take over each other. No, that's going to be, kind of, you're going to have a variety of things. Landscapes, of course, testimonials, so maybe interviews on the border of the road with a Welsh or a Scot. I don't know. We're going across England. Well, when I say we, you ride, I watch.
Various invites to stop in and see people, and we will visit Dr. Ian Redmond in Stroud. Ian, I think, as you know, is very big in his work in conservation in Africa with elephants and gorillas. So it'd be great to drop in on Ian and have a cup of tea with him. And Ian climbed Kilimanjaro with me and Dr. Ian Singleton a few years ago to
where is Ian stairs?
Ian's in Stroud. Ian's in Stroud in Boston. Stroud, S-T-R-O-U-D.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So towards the end, I think days
between Bristol and Cheltenham. Is that correct?
I'm not sure what the pronunciation there, Stefan, but it's
in French. I'm French.
East of England.
Cheltenham with a H, and Bristol. Bristol, it's easy because it's we call it, Bristol is a piece of paper for us. For you, that's the town. Yeah. So Dr. Ian Redmond is doing a great thing. Is that Indonesia or Malaysia? Malaysia.
No. Ian Redmond does look in Africa. Ian Singleton is the other connection who's in Indonesia working with orangutans and has done for.
Okay, I'm always confusing both because they are the same first name, right? They are the Yans. So it's quite hard for me to get who is who. So I say one has beer, the other one doesn't have one. And at some point I'm confusing.
All from Hull in the UK. So it's interesting. We've got three people working in different aspects of conservation, all from the same town. Well, say it's a town, but all from the same city in the UK, working in different parts of the world.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity, as I was saying earlier, to showcase brands next to a charity cause, and also meet other new people, meet people that are singularities in the world of conservation, and engage the conversation with them. It's not all about business. It's about social conversation, discover what they are, living for, because they would die, for protecting elephants or gorillas or orangutans. And at some point, if we can raise awareness with the help of corporations and businesses of any size, we would be happy to welcome Red Bull, because Red Bull gives you wings, and that would be helpful for the JOGLE 2018, right? But of course, if everyday's business would be, motivated by joining the conversation and having a program to be exposed. That's a great opportunity to have an exposure with an insightful purpose, and that gives you another dimension for the sponsors' brand's perceptions.
Yeah, that's right. We can't, obviously, there's a lot of people working in conservation stuff. And the big thing there is that we can't do it without funding. We can't continue the work if people don't donate money or corporations don't dig deep to support the CSR programs and keep the good work ongoing.
Yeah. So we will also feature that on the conservation.community website, and people can watch that. Now I would like to go through the advertising space that you're offering on eBay auctions for the jersey sponsoring. Can we talk like 1 or 2 minutes about that?
We can. We've done a few different options. We've designed a jersey which features the conservation community logo, but there's advertising space for various companies to get involved, and obviously the advertising space will be featured on the live videos. We'll be wearing these shirts every day, and we've got space on the sleeves and on the pockets on the back. So rather than go out and approach different people and knock on doors to get sponsorship money inwards, we've thought that a unique way which will help us on social media is to create an auction. So over the next 10 days, the shirt space will be auctioned to different companies to the highest bidder. So the whole purpose of today's video is to kickstart that auction process. I think we've got 9 days left now, and let's see how good we are online at getting the message out there and getting people to actually commit to sponsorship. We get a lot of people liking and sharing stuff on social media, but what we need now are people to commit and actually put their hands in their pocket or go and speak to their marketing manager and get them to bid for the space on the shirts. And I think what we're offering there, Stefan, is value for money. With the networks we've got behind us, there's quite a lot of exposure there. And I know, even though it's CSR and conservation, marketing managers are always looking at their budget and looking at what the return on investment is. And I think we offer something amazing, not just on the fact that this is an arduous trek with lots of different options, but the fact that we've got a lot of people that we can reach out to.
Yes, exactly. So that would be, front and back, and people can also sponsor the sleeves.
That's right.
Well, of course, we're gonna name them in every day for the whole week going, plus the 3 other days that the JOGLE 2018 is lasting, and I will engage with them to have an interview and a special blog post about what they're doing, not only for the causes, but for their I would say their mission statement or their brand identity. We will do that both on a Facebook Live basis or YouTube Live basis, and on the blog post, so that maximize their exposure.
Of course.
So I think I'm going to the left slide. So there are some links that people can click if they want to place their bids. And I do believe we're gonna post a PDF document on Facebook so people can download it, and then if they go to their marketing managers or communication managers, they won't go empty-handed. They will say, "Hey, I got some elements there," and of course they can have an idea of what we're doing for conservation community and PATT Foundation, going on Facebook pages and on the website as well. Of course, we would be happy to breakfast with them on some video conferencing room dedicated for them. So if they have like specific question, or they want to increase their outreach with specific techniques, or ask what is that all about the account-based marketing strategy you can deliver to us, then we will explain that, but that would be part of the options.
That's right.
No problem.
Right. But I'll do the cycling, you do the technical work.
Yeah, Yeah. I was thinking, should I ride? And I was thinking, yeah, maybe, but come on. Uh, England is not flat, especially in the north. It goes, woohoo! It's bumpy road
Well,
there. Yeah.
downhill from Scotland, I hope. So
So,
I'm told.
just to inspire corporations and businesses and brands, what type of other sponsors could join us specifically?
I think, to be honest, it's open to everybody who wants to get that exposure, not just in the UK, but because we will reach out globally with our networks. But we can look at performance products, nutritional brands, cycling companies, tourism companies, any major brand really wants exposure to the network that we've got.
Yeah, even companies that are working in the services as insurances. When you're traveling and doing some tourism with cycling, you better have a health insurance, wherever you go.
I recall that AIG sponsored Manchester United, so if anybody from AIG out there is listening, not AXA, then you would welcome some sponsorship.
Yeah. And of course, if the banking industry, such as the Citi, the banks, the Lloyds, or whoever are having, ATMs all around the path of the JOGLE 2018, if they want to be featured, we'll be happy to do so as well, right?
That would be actually an interesting one if they give us a credit card to stop at every ATM on the way and withdraw money. That would be a fantastic feature, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so you have to make a choice. Do you want to be throwing some fresh water or some bills of 10 pounds or 100 pounds?
The intention is to raise money for charity, so I think we're definitely going to be following, I won't say the dollar bills, we'll be following the pound notes in the UK.
All right. Okay. So there is an open door for donators. If there are some influencers want to participate and join, or some local radio stations and regional TVs or national TVs, we will be happy to open our doors and make some arrangements with them so they can cover one or two steps, major steps or major moments of that ride, right?
That's right. We'll also be reaching out to various networks, BBC radio, and in the local areas, and trying to get some interviews with those guys as well to talk about what we're doing.
And we've made the things easy for them. We have a dedicated video conferencing room with maximum bandwidth, and the seats are open for 50 people. They don't have any charge for that. We took that on our arm. And so we are equipped to receive the inbound calls, or what I call the inbound marketing. It's a special event we've been working on hard and for a long time on every side and aspects of it, not only the logistics, but the mental and physical preparation. And on the side, because people are not seeing that, because that's behind the scene, it's all the information technology infrastructures and resources and organization we put together to make that achieve, including communication systems, voice over IP, conferencing room, live broadcast, and everything that goes with the marketing automation and campaigns, so people can have a measurable impact of their investment on the charity sports event they would sponsor with us.
That's right. That's right.
Did I summarize correctly everything?
You've got it right, and I think basically I've got an English saying, Stefan, I should get on my bike because it's going to start to get hot in Bangkok. Yes. So my bike's ready, and I'm literally just going to go and grab my water, put my cycling shoes and helmet on, and then get on the road and do the behind the scenes work that people don't see.
Yeah, it's quite important to do so as well. And I hope that you won't catch the traffic, because I don't know how is the traffic in Bangkok, but the traffic in London, if you go after a certain hour, it's over. But you'd rather be on a bike than in a car, right, in London?
I don't know. The pollution in London is.
You gotta talk about the pollution.
normally I've been cycling at the airport. There's a safe track that I can go around. But I'm actually, because it's Sunday morning, I'm hoping there's not too much traffic on the roads. I'm going to hit the roads today and challenge a different route.
Okay, I think that's going to be all for today for that update and that special JOGLE 2018. If people have questions, engage on the comment section for question and answer. We'll be happy to respond. If people want to reach out to you, they can go whether through me or directly on your page and ask for an appointment, so they can have an exchange with you as the founder of the PATT Foundation and the leader of the conservation conservation community initiative.
No problem. That's right. Let's get clicking on that eBay auction and let's start getting the bidding going.
Okay, Andy, I'm going to leave you to your ride back home now, if you want to be on time. And thank you for taking that time with us and give us an outlook at what's going to be JOGLE 2018 for the conservation community.
All right, thanks, Stefan.
Safe ride. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.